Okay, so you mind telling me how you ended up homeless?
Um, well, after we lost the ranch,
This is your folks?
the the ranch is at 455 Olavina Avenue. It's the one that's the oldest building in the valley, the oldest building this side of Mission San Jose. And nobody seems to know about it. It's a little 5-acre plot of land out on Olavina Avenue.
Uh-huh.
And it's got the Pico Bernal place on it, which was the east station for the Rancho del Valle de San Jose.
The East Station for what?
Rancho del Valle de San Jose. It was 63,000 acres. It was a Mexican land grant to Bernal and Pico, and they built this little shack on the eastern side. Okay, and then a guy moved in next door. His name was Bob Livermore. Afterwards, okay.
This is 1800s.
This is 1836.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and eventually what happened was Martin Mendenhall, who was the brother of William Mendenhall founded Livermore. Martin Mendenhall squatted there, and they fought over it. They went all the way to the Supreme Court. You had to pay like 3 cents an acre for it. And that's what the ruling was, something like that. And eventually, a guy named Moss Luters bought it, and his adopted son was August Hageman, and then his son, that was my great grandfather, and then his son was Herb Hageman, and then my grandmother was born to him, and Edna Cottinger, whose grandfather was John W. Cottinger, was the first justice of peace in the area.
Uh-huh.
Well, he married a Burnell. So I've got them all going on. I've got them all going on. So it kind of came back into the family at that point. That was 1892. Yeah, and at that point it was about 1,000 acres, and it got divided up between my great grandfather and his 2 half brothers, Augie and Edwin. A lot of people will remember the old Hageman farm that was in the middle on Stanley Boulevard.
Yeah.
Okay, where people go to buy fruits and vegetables and stuff. And that was Augie's place. That was the middle ranch. Edwin married Hilma Wente, and who had she had a little plot of land right next to them, so they kind of joined it. That part of the property didn't have a house on it, so they, but Hilma's did. So that's where they lived, and then my great grandfather lived in the house on Olavina. Olavina Avenue used to end at our driveway. Well, what happened there was Herb Jr., who was my grandmother's brother, died, and there was a little problem with the estate tax. Well, the city of Livermore put a historical easement on it, and the federal government didn't know about it, taxed us full rate, 5 acres in the middle of town. So it's basically a worthless piece of property, taxed at full rate, and we couldn't stay above water. Just, basically, thank you, city of Livermore. Now they own it. They own it. So, they got what they wanted. Pretty much they wanted us to donate it forever. Which, well, I guess in the end we kind of did, because we kind of walked away from it with the shirts on our backs. And we sold it to a contractor who thought he was going to be able to deal with the city, and I guess I don't know what happened there. But we walked away basically flat.
So we is you and your
My father and my brother.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you.
And me, yeah. And I went to, right after that, that's when I just had enough cash to go to farrier school. That was about $8,000. And I spent 8 weeks there. And I did that for a couple of years. And what happened was...
As a living.
Yeah, as a living. I was shoeing horses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of what we did over the ranch. Well, they still got horses there. We've always had horses there. We had 25 horses at our height. We were horse ranchers.
Uh-huh.
We boarded horses there. And we had I mean, it was a really nice place. The way it looks now, I've just been there just recently since. And it's not quite as nice as it was, but it's it's pretty much just a semblance. They're taking relatively good care of it, I think. But yeah. So I went to Farrier School, and I did that for a living for a couple of years, but then my knee went out from under me. And I couldn't do it anymore. And I tried to look for work, and one thing happened after another. I lost my truck, I lost my tools, I lost, it's just, it was $6,000 just to go to school, and another couple of $1,000s, to live there, because I had to live there while I was going to school. This was up in Sacramento, and then it was another $4,000 for equipment, forge, the anvil, all that, and my truck, and I lost all that, and once that was gone, that's pretty much that was all she wrote. That was it's just, I mean, I actually had a guy at Jack, I was sitting here going to Jack in the Box, and the guy's telling me, "How do I know you're just going to work here 3 months and walk away?" And I'm like, I just wanted to get up and slap him. I just did.
You just wanted to what?
I wanted to stand up and slap him. This guy's sitting there just, shining me on. And I just needed a job. I mean, I didn't care it was $8 an hour. I didn't bloody well care. I didn't care. That would have gotten me by at the time. It would have gotten me by.
So when was this?
This is about 4 years ago.
How about your dad and brother?
My brother got married. He went to I don't know how he's doing. I haven't talked to him in a while. He's got married and he's living in St. Louis. My dad lives in Larnaca.
In where?
Larnaca in Cyprus.
In
Cyprus.
Oh, Cyprus. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not coming back. Last thing he said to me was, "I may see you in the next life, but not this one." We didn't get along very well.
No. But has the educational system helped or hindered you at all?
What educational system?
Yeah. Well, public education.
Okay. I didn't go to school in this country except for 1 year.
Oh. Okay.
What I saw in that year was, well, I don't know what it's like now. That was in the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah.
What I saw in that year, I mean, I had a teacher for extra credit, I couldn't believe this, asked, "Can anyone here name the author of War and Peace?" I got extra credit for that. Nobody else knew the answer. I couldn't believe it. I went to a school in Madrid, run by Brits.
And you knew that.
It wasn't just that. I mean, for crying out loud, none of these kids had even ever heard of Steinbeck. We read Of Mice and Men when I was 14. They haven't got an educational system in this country. They've got a babysitting operation. Teachers here are a joke.
So it's much better in
Or
Spain.
they were. Well, I went to a small school. Yeah, it's hell better, or was. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's like now. They have the voucher system over there.
So
That's
it didn't
what
help you at all, basically.
What, the schools here?
Yeah. You didn't partake.
I don't know what I have very low opinion of the American educational system.
Do you have any plans for getting your own place?
I have what I have. Everything I have right now,
Yeah.
I worked for. I paid for with my own money.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a bicycle. I don't know if you've seen my bike.
No.
Okay, I'll show it to you in a minute, in
Okay.
a few minutes. It's
Yeah.
basically I've got bags front. You know what? You see me riding around town. You probably know. Everybody's going to see this video has probably seen me riding around town because I've got bags on the front.
Uh-huh.
Okay, if you see a guy on a black bicycle riding around with bags on the front, that's me. Okay, there are very few people doing that. There's a couple other guys, but I actually I do a lot of riding just around town.
And you have bags on the rear too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have everything I own is on that bike, except for what I keep in my satchel. I keep my computer with me 24/7, and that's 100% of my property right there. Okay, the bike cost me $450. The bags altogether cost me another $8. Yeah, they're not cheap, but they were
80 or 8?
$800.
Oh, 800?
Yes,
Wow.
they're not cheap. They are not cheap.
Well, they must be waterproof.
No, no, they're not.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but they were worth it because they're big bags, and I have everything I own in it. All my clothes, everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm able to survive on that. Okay, and let me tell you something right now. I mean, I may be coming across like a sob story, but being homeless, not the death sentence people make it out to be. Okay. Now, I may not have a prospect of getting my own place. It doesn't mean I'm destitute.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got these guys during the wintertime. Thank God for them. They're not, this is not government money. This is private money. This is donations from people who, and these guys basically operate on nothing. You know, I got it pretty good. So this is not, it's not, life is not as difficult as people make it out to be.